So we previously installed this system a couple weeks ago while they're doing a remodel. Now we're coming back to do initial startup. We're gonna test the blower motor, make sure it's pulling the correct amps, make sure the heater's working, check refrigerant levels, all electrical components, make sure that the unit's draining properly, and then kind of do like a whole system analysis to make sure everything's working properly. We did all the duct work in here, yep. All the ducts are brand new with ductboard trunk lines. We're putting in linear grills, which are pretty more modern. They look really good. We're testing out the blower motor and making sure that it's pulling the correct amps. And we're waiting for the condenser to turn on to make sure that there's no, like the electric heat's not turning on while the cooling's on, because that pulls a lot of amps, causing a high FPL bill. We don't come back for 6 months for the initial maintenance just to ensure that there's no issues. The customer's more happy, I think, having us come back out to make sure, verify everything's working properly, and it kind of saves us a headache from having any callbacks, makes us look better as a company. So I just threw the door back on. We just verified that all the electrical components inside's working, the system's draining, the float switch works, and now we gotta put the door on so we can go outside and get accurate levels of the refrigerant, so we can get a correct charge going. Make sure then afterwards we'll do a temperature differential check, make sure it's blowing about 20-degree split. That's what we like to see here. And so these customers, they decided to go with the UV light up here in the plenum. It's also known as like an air scrubber. You know, it purifies the air, kills bacteria and stuff like that, prevents growth from happening inside the plenum, because here in Florida, you know, it's very humid. These things can sweat, these things tend to sweat, causing growth to happen on the inside when it's running at a lower gear, because the air is a lot colder. It just prevents growth from happening, especially with these systems, because when they're first turning on, they're running at about 60%, 70% blower speed. The TD, what I'm gonna check, can be super low, so it's blowing in 50-degree air. Once it gets closer to the dew point, you have growth happening. So now we're gonna go outside, check the charge, get this thing charged up to the manufacturer specifications. That way we can do the rest of our testing and make sure everything's accurate and running well. So now we're charging the system to the manufacturer specifications. It's been running now for about 15 minutes. The blower's ramped all the way up. Take some measurements outside of the compressor amps, the fan motor amps, verifying that everything's working how it's supposed to be. This system wants to have a 7-degree subcool. It's not too far off. The superheat's at a 17, 18. Good. We usually say between 12 and 18. So it's doing pretty good. I'm gonna add a little bit more just to verify that the charge is correct. Yeah, just to make sure that there's enough liquid coming back to the compressor. If the system's not charged properly, it's never gonna work correct. And then we'll let it sit here and run for, while we do other things, we'll let it run for an hour and come back and look just to double check that everything stays the same, because it does take a little bit for everything to level out. All I did was purge the line. So whenever you connect refrigerant to your set of gauges, you just wanna purge it so there's no air. You're not throwing any air or anything else that's in your gauges into the refrigerant system. Yeah, so now we're sitting at 17 superheat and 8 subcool. The system wants a 7. We're gonna let it sit here and run for about another hour just to verify, let everything settle down and kind of see what it's at. But right now it's running good. Yeah, they used to check these systems by just grabbing the suction line and seeing if it's beer can cold. Thankfully now we have, gauges and stuff to, you don't have to do that. We just verified that the system's working properly. Everything is working. The TD's good, it's a 19. We look for about 18 to 20. The refrigerant levels are great. The system's draining. So now we're just gonna finish up by putting up all the grills, and we got another happy customer.